I made it pretty far, all things considered. Thanks for your applause. Still, every time I close the door and another one open, I get this panic that my life is now on pause. The dark gets cleared, the board's been cleaned. There's nothing left on my screen. The plate is empty, so it seems. Now is the time to ask, okay, what's next? This was fun while it lasted, nothing comes to you ask it. So I'd really like to know what's next. Around the corner, down the street, whatever's meant for me to meet. I'm waiting for it to sleep, so tell me please, what's next? What's next? Maybe it's a little daunting, thanks I know. Silently it's haunting me and I'd like it to go. Oh, see, I could be 103 and still moving slow, full of promise and potential till my eyes finally close. But I got time, got years and years, work to do, but I got fears and there's a ringing in my ears. So still I gotta ask, okay, what's next? This was fun while it lasted, nothing comes to you ask it. So I'd really like to know what's next. Around the corner, down the street, whatever's meant for me to meet. I'm waiting for it to sleep, so tell me please, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? The future's out of focus. What's next? What's next? Just tell me it's not hopeless. What's next? What's next? Just tell me it's not hopeless.
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, coming to you live here in Seattle, Washington, the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Very cool day here in the Pacific Northwest of Seattle after another heat wave. We had another heat wave. This is, I can't recall, it's been a long time, so where I've actually had to bring the portable AC into the studio because it's like 95 degrees in here. So hopefully that fan's not too bad in the background. So how's everybody doing this morning? We're going to be having the Healing Cafe here in about 25 minutes. We're going to have our special guest today, Heidi, who is a student of mine in my spiritual development group, SDG, and I'm looking forward to having her come into the Healing Cafe with me today to talk about animal communications. So she's really gone on the pathway of focusing on animals, which I think is fantastic. I can tell you from my own personal experience in the hundreds, if not thousands, of readings I've done, when an animal comes through, it's quite emotional. It's quite the reunion, if you will, and a lot of people love their animals. Maybe sometimes more than they actually, the people that was in their lives, maybe. So she's going to be coming in and talking about Animal communications, we're going to do a couple live readings. It could be psychic, mediumship. She'll work on the animal side of the house. I just did a couple readings this weekend with some clients, and one of them actually had a nice animal communication reunion where her loved one, I think his name was JJ, I think, and he came up and just sat right on her lap for the entire reading, and she loved that, and she could feel his presence. And so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be at 8:30. So if you're new to the show, welcome to Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, get participating in the Intuitive Prospector page, and join the. I can't even tell you how many followers are on the page now. It's like 33,000 or something like that. It's a lot, and I appreciate all of my followers and all of my fans, anybody that follows my work. And what happens when you subscribe to the page, then you get the notifications of when we're live, when I'm doing readings. I'm going to probably tonight do a nighttime show. I haven't really done the nighttime show. I've been mostly focused on doing morning shows to kind of get Monday set the tone, I guess, kind of get things going. And this morning when I was sitting on meditation, because I have to say that when the weather changes, I feel it. My body feels it. I am getting a little bit more seasoned, if you will. And I didn't know what I was going to talk about today because none of my shows are planned or scripted. A lot of it is based on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, is based on the premise and the concept of what I'm feeling at the time. And I can just tell you right now, I think my heart, I know, and I feel that my heart really goes out to the people of Haiti. I've been to the country. I visited the country years ago when I was in the Coast Guard, and just the devastation of the earthquake, the fail of their government with their president assassinated last month or the month before, just really, and just, there's last count, there was over 700 people that had transitioned into the spirit world. And so my heart really just goes out to the people of Haiti today. If we can just hold space for them, send prayers, good intentions, healing, no more earthquakes. This is actually, the earthquake they had is actually bigger than the one they had, I think, 11 years ago that caused mass destruction. And I know I got a friend in the Coast Guard that was just dispatched. So they're sending the helicopters and one of the cutters down there to assist with the recovery and humanitarian efforts. So just my heart goes out to anybody that's associated or been to Haiti or know the country of Haiti or the people of Haiti. But also I want to just focus real quick on the people of Afghanistan and all of our soldiers. I'm really disturbed by what's going on. I know that there's going to be a lot of finger pointing based on politics and presidents, and but I kind of look past that and look at the people. I look at the women of the country of Afghanistan and how the country is going to be taken over. It has fallen to the Taliban, something that we've been in a war for 20 years. Maybe a war we shouldn't have got into, but that is in the past. Can't change that. And I really just think about our soldiers, those currently serving, our veterans, those that were injured, those that were killed in this conflict over the last 20 years. And it's kind of like our modern day Vietnam. It's the fall of Saigon, which we're seeing, years later in the same format. It's really unfortunate and it's really sad. And all it's going to do is just create more divide here in the United States, unfortunately. And I know that for those of you that have followed my work for the last 2 years, I've been talking about a national divorce, two Americas, civil war, some sort of ideology, because it's separated out. And this conflict based on the soldiers and our military is only going to drive a wedge deeper, unfortunately, into the 50 states, because we're a democracy, but we're also self-governed under 50 states. And we're already seeing some of the states go their own way. And it's unfortunate, but maybe that's what needs to happen. But my heart really goes into the people of Afghanistan, the people of Haiti. There's just a lot going on in the world, you guys. Last week, I talked about equanimity and homeostasis. Equanimity is the balance of the mind. So you're not taking the weight of on your shoulders of the world. And, if you're an empath, if you're sensitive, something that took me years to understand and come to realization, you just realize that from this latest conflict, the earthquakes, the pandemic, the Delta variants, we're seeing a spike here in Seattle now in the Pacific Northwest. And we're talking about closing mass events, big events down again, mandatory mask wearing, the politics divide, the global warming. Like I said, I have not recalled a summer this warm ever here in Seattle. It usually stays in the 70s, maybe high 80s. The 90s are a good hot day in Seattle. And we've already had a couple times where we've gone over the 100-degree mark. 109 at one point set a new record here in the Pacific Northwest. So the times are going to change. All we can do is how we respond to those changes and to those um, differences based on our own choices and our free will and our power. So if you will, just grab your coffee, grab your tea, join me for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays this morning. I don't know if I actually have a topic. I kind of wore my monkey shirt. So this monkey represents the monkey that's trying to climb up into my mind, the ego. And so one of the things we do to help with the journey, whether you're in my spiritual development group, whether you're in a session with me, I talk a lot about the ego and how the ego is really about competition, it's about opinion, about being right, but it's also about protecting yourself as well, right? And we need ego to survive in this world. But there's times too that I found that a lot of people that are really confident, it's based on their ego. And I find that to be a weakness, actually. I find more people that are, have confidence based on their experience is strong. And, when people are more humble and more confident and they've had lots of life experiences, those are the people I tend to follow. Those are the people I tend to resonate towards. And I can tell you, I posted earlier that I'm known as what's a popular loner. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people know me. But over this last 2 years, my circle is small, and I usually am independent by myself, me and my wife and my cat, just for the fact that I just see a lot of stuff and a lot of ego out there. So the shirt is a reminder for me this morning that we all have ego, but it's about how we tame the monkeys in our mind. It's about how we name our ego to say, okay, I don't have to believe everything my ego is telling me. And a lot of people do. They just go based on what the ego is telling them, their inner voice. And so this is my ego shirt. This is my monkey, trying to climb up into my mind and tame the thoughts and the messages that are in our head. And you're never going to really quiet the voice in your mind and in your inner voice until you actually pass into the spirit and you leave the physical form. So it's always been interesting to me to that voice, that inner voice, if you will. And so I guess maybe that's today's message about the inner voice, right? Yeah. So I hope you're having a good Monday morning. Like I said, Monday mornings, Metaphysical Mocha Monday, just set the tone, inspiration, encouragement, motivation, get you thinking outside the box. With everything going on, let's just take a nice deep breath. Let's move into the magic of the moment. If you have a question for me, feel free to ask. If I don't get to it here in Mocha Mondays, you can come on over to the Healing Cafe. And how that format works, this streams over to my YouTube channel and sometimes my Instagram channel. And then I'll come back on with the Healing Cafe and we'll do live readings. So today we're really just talking about what's going on in the world. Like I said, if you have a question for me, feel free to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the page. When you subscribe to the page, then you become a fan, a member. You become your badges that way by interacting with the page. You can be a star sender. I always work with my star senders and top fans first and foremost, because it's just a mutual benefit and a mutual respect for the work I do, and showing up every Monday to pay it forward, to give back, to help others, to be inspired, to inspire others, and of course to inspire before we expire. You can follow me at marclainhart.com, marclainhart.com, or just internet searching Intuitive Prospector will get you to anywhere you need to go. Articles, newsletter, working on my next article about equanimity, working on my next radio show, links to book a reading, all that good stuff. It's just go to marclainhart.com or net search Intuitive Prospector. You can read my bio, you can read my training, you can read my testimonials, my professional directories I'm associated with. This Sunday, I will be leading a service now that I am officially a minister and a Reverend Marc Lainhart. I will be leading a service this Sunday on my church here that has moved. It's morphed. It was Tower Memorial Church here in Seattle, and with the pandemic this last year, we've cut over and we've transitioned now to where we've renamed the church to the Pacific Northwest Spiritualist Center. where we're doing a lot of online services, a lot of online classes. And this Sunday, I'll be leading both as the featured speaker and as the medium. So I hope that you will join me. I'll put that link in the comment section and over on my website at marclainhart.com if you want to attend the service. It's free. It starts at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, goes for about an hour and a half until 12:30. It's a lot of fun. You come into the Zoom room, you can call in. If you can't get on the Zoom, you can actually call in on and register, but you have to go to the website there to register for the service coming up this Sunday. And you may get a reading. You never know. You never know what you're going to get with the service. So I'm looking forward to that. But this morning, with everything going on, sometimes you just need to take that breath in, and it comes back to that serenity prayer, right? It's the serenity prayer of God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's what I'm writing with my latest article. And it was interesting because in group on Wednesday, one of my students, Lou, if you're watching, good morning, Lou, she had mentioned she likes to look up the synonyms of names. And actually the synonym of serenity is equanimity, which I did not know that. So, and I've practiced the serenity prayer for years, because there's just so much going on, so much fear, so much anxiety, so much depression. I can feel it. It's palpable. A lot of uncertainty as kids go back to school, and the Delta variants is spiking, literally, where kids are getting sick and having to be put on ventilators. The debate on being vaccinated versus unvaccinated and the divide that's causing. What's going on in Haiti and Afghanistan, here in the United States, with just people, mental health problems. And so it's really to come back to that basis, because the ego, like I said, as the ego climbs up to my mind to want to protect myself and not have compassion or empathy or kindness towards another, that's what the ego can do too, because it's trying to protect you. But sometimes you just have to push that monkey down, and you have to say, no, that's not where I want to go. I'm gonna have the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, because I cannot change those, and the courage to change the things I can. And what I can do today with that serenity prayer is I can show up here on my platforms of positivity, because I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not a huge fan anymore of social media. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook. I'm still kind of upset with them. I've been trying to get my page verified for 6 months now, with the work I do, with the followers I have, and they just don't want to verify my page. So I don't know what else I need to do to try to make the page verifiable with that blue check mark. I'll keep trying. Persistence is key, right? But Facebook, I go on TikTok, and I use my TikTok really for just positive, inspirational, motivational videos, and to connect to people and to help people, and make people feel good. I don't really get on there for rants, and I never really did with TikTok. I did back in the day here on Facebook, but social media is not. After I watched the Social Dilemma a couple months ago on Netflix, it really changed my thought on how I interact with my social media accounts: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter a lot anymore. Facebook, Tumblr. There's a couple, but I've changed how I do that, and my focus moving forward is to create those platforms for positivity. So when people want to get into rants or people want to get into political debates, I don't even engage with it anymore. I just delete the comment. You're right, because the ego is going to want to defend, be opinionated, try to push your agenda, whatever that is. And I just now say, you know what, you're right. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to fight with you. Life is too short. And I stay in that high energy of positivity and away from that energy of fear. And it's really easy on social media, you guys, to get pulled into that web, to get pulled into that dysfunction, low vibration energy, to have a rant or a debate, which really nothing's going to happen from that. You may feel better about yourself, or you were right and they were wrong. But remember, every time you point a finger out, there's 3 pointing back at us. So I really try to use my platforms for positivity. So if that's where you want to be, and you want to come into Metaphysical Mocha Mondays on Monday and have a cup of coffee with me and just hang out, ask questions, go to the Healing Cafe where we do live readings. I might come on tonight and do some readings as well tonight: psychic, mediumship, intuition, awareness, metaphysics. All of that is encompassed in what I do. So I might do that tonight. And it's about just setting the tone, setting the vibration, having a focus, because I really personally believe that your focus here determines your reality of where you're going out there. But it comes back to the serenity prayer. I have to have the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. What's going on in the world, I cannot change that, but I have the courage to show up every Monday morning and change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Been around this planet almost 50 years. So like I said, I rely more on people that have had experiences, people that are a little bit more seasoned. You know, if they're coming from a place of confidence, I know that it's not ego and it's more of a place of strength and humbleness, versus people that come from all ego. And there's a couple people I know, trust me, in this industry that do this work, some of my friends, some of my family members that come from a place of just ego, narcissistic behavior. And for me, that's a weakness. That's really you're trying to really show yourself or prove yourself. And it's something I understand greatly because I was raised that way in my life. And I had to change and unlearn a lot of the behaviors and the transformation and the healing and the letting go of stuff that I couldn't. So, and that's the wisdom, right? That's the wisdom to know the difference of who you are, what your ego is, and how to tame and quiet that ego monkey mind. So maybe it's through breath work, maybe it's through its meditation, maybe it's about being in service to others, finding equanimity, finding serenity, getting out and helping others, serving, volunteering, going for a hike, being connected to nature. You can see that I'm surrounded by nature. I moved all my plants. Where are my plants here? My plants here because the AC, I had to set up the AC unit, which is off camera. You can't see it, but moved all my plants here and they're really, thriving. So I'm loving that. But I had to make it temporary, open my window and put plastic over it so you can put the hose of the AC. I don't have the AC unit in here now. But it's just the flexibility, right? Darwin talked a lot about, it's not the strongest that survive in changing times, and it's not the smartest that actually survive in changing times. And we're in changing times, we're in transformative times. Like I said, when we started, a year and a half ago of the Roaring 20s, I predicted that the Roaring 20s were going to be a decade of great change, transformation, divide. We will still see violence, and we will still see ignorance, and we will still see fear and murder and possibly war. That is part of the human experience. But at the same time, it's what Darwin talked about, not the strongest and not the smartest. It's those that are most flexible that get you through the changing times. So I hope that you'll be flexible in these changing times. You'll be patient. You'll find ways to cope. Like I said, there's many outlets out there. Metaphysical Mocha Mondays is one of them. We focus on inspiration, encouragement, motivation, and of course, healing and transformations. And if you follow my work, I've always said, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover that diamond within, because we all have a diamond, and diamonds are created under great pressure and pressures of life to help us live our best, highest vibration life with happiness. But knowing that you can't have happiness because happiness is just a word, and happiness is reflected by the pain and the sadness that we experience too. So, there's a quote that has long stuck with me from Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements, one of the first books I ever read. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. Let me say that again. There is a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. That's one of my favorite books. And you never know what's going to happen down the road. Just like when I started reading that book 20 years ago, along with The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari and The Untethered Soul, I had no idea that I'd be doing radio years later in our 6th season of Inspired Living Radio. And Don Miguel Ruiz was a guest on the show, and we actually did an interview on his book called The Actor. Very humbling, very starstruck. But that quote has stuck with me, along with the Serenity Prayer and the Four Agreements. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. And so really try to, do that and apply that to your path this week, especially the month of August. The month of August is also the number 8, which is the infinity. And we have long known in history that August throughout history has been a transformative, changing month in the year. A lot of things change. And, just pay attention to people that come from really a place of ego with their confidence versus people that come with confidence and experiences, because there is a difference in energy. It's like, I always remember when I was in college, I hate when people confuse education with intelligence. People think, I have a college degree. I have a bachelor's in business management communications, and I have graduate in sports medicine and human performance. But that doesn't make me intelligent just because I have all that education. You can have a bachelor's degree, you can have a master's degree and still be an idiot, right? And I see a lot of that. I see that especially in politics, but politics is just mind-blowing to me. There's really no certification. You get voted in. There's people in politics right now in the Senate and the House that don't even have, some haven't even graduated high school. So again, don't confuse education with intelligence, because that's a lot of ego, right? And fake it till you make it kind of format. And, some of the smartest people I have known, including Albert Einstein, who was not academia, who actually was a patent clerk. Some of the smartest people that I know and I follow and that inspire me don't have a lot of higher education. So you don't have to have higher education to be intelligent. Your experiences and your world connections and the things you've done can make you intelligent and inspirational and empathic and kind and caring. So I hope that helps. You know, I'm going to just kind of read something to you here about winning it in life. And this is how to win in life. This is something that I've applied to my, like I said, my platforms of positivity here on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and my YouTube channels. How to win at life. Step one, here it is. It's really simple. Well, step one is coffee. Good old coffee. Step two, being in the magic of the moment. Can't suffer your past, can't change your past, can't project to the future because the future is not guaranteed to anybody. And let the people do what they need to do to make them happy. Mind your own business, do what you need to do to make you happy. When people want to argue, don't engage. Sometimes your best response is no response. Or if they want to say, I'm right, you're wrong, you can say, you're right. Arguing with a fool means that there's only two. So how to win at life? Coffee, the magic in the moment. Let people do what they need to do to make them happy, as long as it's not in, a way of hurting others or being violent or hurting another person or an animal. Of course, and you have a duty to step up. But mind your business, do what you need to do to make you happy. The end. How simple was that? So I hope you enjoyed today. We're going to get ready for the Healing Cafe. I know Heidi's going to join me here. We're going to do some live readings. Again, if you want to like the page, subscribe to the page, share out the page, contribute to the page. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being on this journey with me and joining me Monday mornings over a cup of coffee. I look forward to seeing you again here in the Healing Cafe, which will start here in about 5 minutes. So I can get that all set up. And then this Sunday, I'll be doing a service at the Pacific Northwest Spiritual Center online. If you want to attend, that starts at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I'll be the featured speaker and the featured medium doing live readings. It's a free event, and it's something that we're going to continue to grow through my spiritualist church here in Seattle as this pandemic continues to keep us not in a physical space. And then, of course, I'll be on the air next Wednesday. I am recording my show this Wednesday, but I'll be on vacation next Wednesday, so it'll air next Wednesday. And that's going to be more about the perception of connecting to the spirit world and starting out with just feeling those things that we don't see. Remember, 3 eyes in life, 2 to look, 1 to see. And I'll be talking about that next Wednesday on Inspired Living Radio, which is my podcast through Om Times Radio. It's internet radio. You can listen to it anywhere around the world. No password, no membership, no BS. Streams through all the major platforms: Spotify, Deezer, Podcast Chaser, Podcast Addict, YouTube, iTunes, all of those. So I hope that you'll join me for another inspired conversation. And if we don't see you in the Healing Cafe, have a great rest of your week. And I look forward to seeing you there or on the airwaves or over at marclainhart.com. Let me get to my Facebook approved songs and have a great rest of your day. All my music is royalty free. So until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, most importantly, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover that diamond within. I'll see you over in the Healing Cafe, everybody. Take care. Namaste.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.